alongside four-time Pro Bowl linebacker Chris Spielman. I'm Matt Shepard. Jennifer Hammond will join us shortly from on the field. This should be a lot of fun because you're going to get a chance to see the first-teamers a little bit longer here tonight. And, Chris, that means more Matthew Stafford in this up-tempo offense.
Yeah, I thought Matthew was excellent last week. I like the fact that he can make a tough throw with somebody in his face. But also, the thing that stood out is he's starting to get the timing with his new receivers. Marvin Jones right there from Cincinnati is a free agent. And, of course, moving his feet and being able to have the live arm to throw across his body. And Matthew Stafford, everybody knows if he needs the fastball, he has that in his arsenal.
In this offense, 14 different receivers caught passes, but they're going to need a little bit more time by that offensive line. They need some reps, don't they?
They do, and Taylor Decker is the one that needs the most reps. So when you look at Taylor, he struggled a little bit last week, had the holding call, then he gave up the sack to James Harrison. But I got news for you. Taylor Decker's a good football player. The more reps that Taylor gets in preseason, the more he'll be ready for the regular season. He'll be outstanding when it's all said and done.
All right, let's talk about this defense a little bit. I thought they were pretty impressive last week, and Devin Taylor seems very comfortable in his first full season as a starter.
Well, when you look at him, he has all the physical tools. First of all, his length at 6'7". I love to get off on the ball. Then, of course, if you can have an inside move and beat a double team and get to the quarterback and get the sack, that's a benefit. But right here, you see his ability to finish. And when you have Nada push in the middle, Ziggy on the opposite side, he should be able to shine in this defense this year.
It'll be a challenge tonight against Pro Bowl tackle Andrew Whitworth. We have two former Bengals playing for the Lions right now, including Marvin Jones, who says, this should be fun. I haven't seen my boys in a long time. He'll get his fill tonight. Next. Hi, everyone. Alongside former four-time Pro Bowler Chris Spielman, I'm Matt Shepard. Jennifer Hammond will join us shortly from the sidelines. Look, you've really never been in this position. You knew you were one of the best players on the field every single year. You had it made. But as a veteran, what do you tell guys who are vying for a job?
Well, you're playing for your professional lives right now. And if not, you're just not playing for the Detroit Lions, but you're playing for other teams around the NFL as they get filmed. So you tell yourself, look, it's not about whether we win or lose the game tonight. It's not about that. It's about me having my best individual performance that I've ever had.
All right, Lions starting offensive line won't play tonight, but it's been under a microscope for the most part all of preseason. What have been your thoughts on them?
They're getting better. I thought the first game they weren't very good. The second game a little bit better. But last week I thought they were pretty consistent. There were some holes to run through for the running game, and I thought Taylor Decker, right there in your picture, really improved over the first three ball games. And he's going to be a solid player for a long time to come. He's too good of an athlete not to be.
Probably had his best game of the preseason against Baltimore. A lot of spots up for grabs, folks, especially that fourth and fifth wide receiver spot, Chris.
Well, to me, guys have an opportunity to make a play. You have to make it. Right here, Roberts does, who scored a touchdown against the Steelers. Another guy that's been interesting is Jace Billingsley out of Eastern Oregon. You see great run after catch moves right here to find the end zone. Has developed a little bit of rhythm at Rudolph. Then a guy that played last year and had some production, T.J. Jones, I thought he played well last week. So very important for those three to go off tonight.
And then you got an undrafted rookie like Jay Lee out of Baylor who's still trying to make his mark.
Well, he's a young guy with potential. And I don't know if he's one of the best out of those three, but I think you look at Jay as a potential practice squad player.
Here's what they were hoping for, that they've created some chemistry with Jake Rudock. Why? Well, because he's going to see the lion's share of the snaps tonight. No pun intended. But the rookie out of the University of Michigan is trying to solidify his spot on this roster as well. We've got the kickoff for you, the Bills and Lions, right after this. Hi, everyone. Alongside my partner, four-time Pro Bowl linebacker Chris Spielman, I'm Matt Shepard. Last week, a lot of expectations, a lot of anticipation for Detroit's top two draft picks. You seem impressed with Frank Ragnow and with Kerryon Johnson. What'd you like most about him?
Let's start with Frank, the #1 pick. And what I liked about Frank was that he struggled early in the week, but as the game came, Frank brought his game. Now let's take a look at some of the run blocking. This was on Abdullah's touchdown run. See how he sustains his block, doesn't come off his man, and pushes his man over the pile. Again, hands inside, and he's sustaining his block and finishing as best he can. That's outstanding work by the young fella. Kerryon Johnson, what do you want out of running back? First of all, can he break tackles? Yes, he can. He proved that. Does he have patience, Matt? Does he have vision? Looks like it there. Does he have a little shake? Gave him a leg and took it away. And finishing runs. Also being able to catch the ball in the backfield. This is what Kerryon Johnson at least brought last week. The key is, can you do it again?
Defensively, plenty of room for improvement. There's no question about that. When the Raiders rushed for 147 yards, it causes some concern. But you were really impressed with a couple of defensive linemen. Deshaun Hand, the 4th-round pick out of Alabama, and Anthony Zettel was everywhere.
Yeah, the line as a whole, the front seven was awful last week. But let's talk with a guy that I like is Anthony Zettel. I would love to play with this guy because of this effort. First of all, he gets off the block. He pursues down the line of scrimmage and makes tackles. That's 2 in a row. You will win with effort like that from Anthony Zettel. A rookie, what are we going to get? I don't know. Here's Deshaun Hand, the 4th-round pick out of Alabama. Good. Defeating his man one-on-one. Good use of fundamentals, what Patricia teaches by using his hands. And right there, Matt, you see that dude? Yeah. He's making a tackle behind the line of scrimmage, not out of the line of scrimmage. Great effort by both those guys last week.
Nothing brings a bigger smile to Chris Spielman's face than a defensive player making a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Matt Patricia also raved about Tracy Walker, the 3rd-round safety. We expect to see him a little bit more in a 1st and 2nd group package tonight against the Giants as well. Will we see Matthew Stafford make his debut? We didn't last week against Oakland. We expect to see number 9 under center when Lions football kicks off next. Hi, everyone. Alongside former 4-time Pro Bowl linebacker Chris Spielman, I'm Matt Shepard. Jennifer Hammond will join us from the sidelines shortly. We're charged up for this one because we get a chance for the first time this preseason to see a couple of guys who will be key to Detroit's success this year. First on defense, DeAndre Levy.
Well, I'm so excited to watch DeAndre play. He hasn't played in a long time, and I think it's vital that he plays to get his timing down. But what he brings to the table are all 3 phases. First of all, he can run down ball carriers and make plays on a run. Pass coverage, you want that. DeAndre brings that with the interception right here and return skills. Guess what? He also has to be accounted for by the opponents on his blitzing ability. A great linebacker that the Lions need desperately for this defense to play at its best.
The ultimate compliment to DeAndre Levy. Chris Spielman says, I could play next to that guy for sure. Amir Abdullah could play in your offense. Fantasy or real thing. We haven't seen him yet this preseason, but the leading ball carrier a year ago will be back in the lineup tonight.
I'm excited to see him around this rebuilt offensive line. The thing I love about Amir is he can make that extra guy miss. We've been talking about it in preseason. What makes a good NFL running back besides catching the ball in the backfield? Making the extra man in a box miss. Amir Abdullah does have that ability, and he has the speed to get to the edge if you need it. The one thing he needs to improve on is ball security, which is vital for an NFL running back.
He's a playmaker. He had admitted as much as well. You know what? I got to take better care of the football, and I understand that. He's been working really hard in that regard. Can't wait to watch him tote the rock a little bit for the Lions tonight. And Haloti Ngata can't wait to get after it as well. He spent 9 years here in Baltimore. This is his first trip back since being traded to the Lions a year ago. We'll kick it off when we come back. It is not a long drive for Southfield A&T, but it is a first time they have done it here to Ford Field as a team playing for a state championship. Standing in their way, a veteran-laden club that has won back-to-back titles and seeks a three-peat. Belleville is the team against every Division I team is measured. Ford Field feels like home for them, and they're home on Valley Sports, presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Hi, everybody. With my friend and my partner, Devin Gardner, I'm Matt Shepard. This is where the big boys hunt. What excites you most about this matchup?
Just that. It's the big boys, Division I football, and we're going to see a bunch of college Division I future players on the field.
Including quarterbacks. Bryce Underwood, just a junior at Belleville, already 2 rings to his credit. He seems to get better year after year. And then, of course, Isaiah Marshall, already committed to Kansas.
Yeah, let's start with Bryce Underwood. Shep, I'm just going to tell you, I don't know where his actual address is, but he has at least a timeshare here at Ford Field. He's been here 10 and under, 12 and under, freshman year, sophomore year, and here he is again as a junior trying to three-peat. He's a dynamic player in the run and the pass game. I cannot wait to see him live.
If there's a quarterback in the state that is his equal athletically, it's the guy on the other side of the field, Isaiah Marshall.
I'm just telling you, man, he's been building for this moment since he was a little kid. He's just now getting his opportunity at Ford Field. When I talked to him earlier this year, he said, I promise you I'll be there. Well, he may get on that promise. Now he has an opportunity to get Southfield their first state champion.
Nothing against my partner here, who is one of the best quarterbacks in Michigan high school history, but we make sometimes too much of the quarterback position. Not tonight, we don't. Bryce Underwood, Isaiah Marshall, 2 teams ready for a championship. Could it be Southfield A&T's first or does Belleville make a little Michigan history? We soon find out, because the kickoff to Division I is coming up on Valley Sports. Back with General Manager Bob Quinn. You talked about physicality. A lot of that is due to your draft, too. When you look at, we've talked about Ragnow, we've talked about Johnson. Deshaun Hand, Chris really liked the way he played last week. And Tracy Walker seems to be getting more reps with the ones and twos. What did you like about his length and size?
Yes, Tracy Walker for us is, you hit it exactly on the head. He's a big, long, athletic guy. You see his arms. He covers a lot of ground with his range. But, when he's down at that catch point, he really has that extra length that can be able to go in there and make a play. So, he's getting there. We're getting there with him, and the more reps he gets with the better guys, the more, interesting it's going to be for him.
It was cool to see tonight, and we're talking about all the new additions, right? How about Devon Kennard with a great pass rush, and assisted by Ricky, not Jean, but Jean-Francois. When you bring those two guys in, I mean, people have to understand what important pieces those are to add to this.
Yeah, in Matt's defense, there's very specific positions that are very important. Kennard's position's one of those, and then, he had a lot of experience with Ricky Jean last year in New England, so he was a veteran. We brought in late, the first week of camp, and he came in excellent shape, and, he's showing up a little bit.
Offense number 17, 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
The schedule is a daunting one. This division is one of the better ones in football. Assess the division for us.
Oh, it's a great division. The last couple of years, and I've been in this division, it's each week you walk in, and there's a great opponent on the other side. And, the schedule is what it is. Every team has a tough schedule. Every team in the league is tough. Our division, all three teams are going to be very competitive, and we're looking forward to that challenge.
When general managers in the offseason, everybody thinks the biggest part of your job is to build this team, and it is. But during the preseason and as the season continues, your job is not done. What's the challenge moving forward after you've already established at least 90 guys for your roster?
Yeah, 90 guys, and then, we have...
Cut down to 53, right?
Yeah, we cut down to 53, but, our staff is working day in and day out, looking at guys that maybe are better than the 89th or 88th guy on our team, and we bring guys in for workouts, I'd say a couple times a week. And if we think someone's going to upgrade the back end of our roster, we try to do that. And, as the cut-down day approaches here in a few weeks, we're, like I said before, looking at the other team's rosters, because, there's a lot of players that can be on the waiver wire here in about 2.5 weeks.
This kid's an electrifying player, Brandon Powell, one of those free agents you bring in, undrafted free agents. Jace Billingsley, a lot of good and battles right now that I think a lot of people are looking forward to seeing how it plays out. Thanks, Bob. We appreciate it as always.
Yeah.
Great to see you.
Solid
draft for Bob Quinn and the Lions, and now they're hoping it turns into victories. A year ago, this team 9-7, and now Brandon Powell, one of those guys that hopes to make Matt Patricia's final 53. He's got some things to show for this team here as they get ready to close out the third quarter against the Giants. Matt Castle remains in at quarterback. Lions trailing here 17-3